Hello, God's beautiful people. I'm back with another word from the Lord. Checking my microphone, y'all. Checking my microphone. um, I have another word from the Lord, and it is based off of a dream I had a few nights ago. And the Lord just gave me this to release, and it's in reference to relationships. I know that there are a lot of people that are waiting for God to bring the person that they are supposed to be with for the rest of their lives. And sometimes, y'all, that wait can be very long, depending on where you are in your walk with Christ or where the person He has called you to be with. And a lot of times, in the midst of it, we try to do it ourselves. We try to, because we don't want to be alone. And I mean, who want to be alone? I mean, that's just, and sometimes we can get ourselves into situations that God didn't call us to get into. And let me tell you something. I don't know why okay, Holy Spirit, you start early in the message, Holy Spirit. Okay. I don't know. This is not even what I had planned to say, but I know the Holy Spirit is giving me that a lot of times you end up in these situations because you're listening to the person that approach you. Example, when a man approaches you and says, "Oh, the Lord showed me that you're my wife," and you believe him. But did the Lord show you that? God is not going to show you and not show going to show him and not you. Okay? And I said that and because instantly the Holy Spirit reminded me of how people have approached me and did the same thing. And I've had plenty of men come to me and say, "God showed me you my wife." And I'm like, "Really? Me? He showed you?" Well, when he gonna show me? Cause you ain't the one he showed me. Really? I mean, and some of them are truly adamant. Like, I am convinced that it's you. And I'm like, and I'm convinced that I'm not. Cause I hear the Lord and I know it ain't you, baby. I'm sorry. It ain't me. It ain't me. So God is saying that a lot of times you're entering the relationships because you feel like He absolutely led you there. But He needs you to understand that you will know when it's Him. You will know when it's Him. So He gave me a dream. And in this dream, there was a woman and a man. And I couldn't see their faces, I could only hear them speak. And this couple had planned to get married. But internally, spiritually, this woman wasn't happy. She was broken. Okay. But this man was very manipulative. He had manipulated her into believing that God truly called them to be together. And he was always talking down on her, like in a sense of not like fussing or cursing or anything like that, but in the sense of making her feel like without him, she would not accomplish anything. Without him, she was incomplete. Okay. Um, he was forever pointing out her shortcomings, comparing her to others, constantly making her feel inferior, all while lowering her self esteem. See, a lot of times people will come in and make you feel like, men and women, make you feel like, you know, I'm the gift. I'm the gift. Honey, you the charity case. I am here to make your life better. God is not about to send you somebody like that. Okay. Um, and although he would shower her with things, he did not build her up. Okay. God is not going to send you somebody that you always feel like you got to do better. That, okay, I'm just not measuring up. Okay. So this lady, I was watching her pack what appeared to be a meal, maybe like a lunch or something. But as she was packing the lunch, I could see a vision of her thoughts. God is amazing. So while she was packing this lunch, what she was really packing was her things to leave. In her mind, she was already outside, but in reality, she was in the kitchen packing lunch. So the whole time she's packing this food, she was planning her escape. She was done. She was fed up and she knew she deserved better. And the whole time she's packing, all I could hear in the background was the man reminding her of everything that she was not. God is not about to send you somebody that tells you you're not this and you're not that. It reminds me, God is forever using my life as the example. Y'all, I struggle with that so bad. Woo! But like I said, I'm going to always be obedient. And I was with this guy, and he was one of those men. I had never been with a man who like just loved big women and big women alone. Like he was the first one. And so he would say things like, um, like if I'm begin to eat healthy and, in an effort to just, lose weight, or just, he would say things to me like, if you lose weight, you just gonna blend in like everybody else. You ain't gonna stand out no more. And I'm like, what? Like it didn't make sense. Okay. And he would just say little things to try to keep me in a mindset of nobody is gonna want me or love me smaller, or nobody's gonna want to be with me if I'm smaller, or and this was the same man. Oh Lord, I hate sharing this stuff. Okay. This was the same man that whenever we would go places, and I think I said this to you all before, I have always received a ton of compliments my whole life. And I'm not arrogant about it. I am very humble about it. And I appreciate people taking the opportunity to acknowledge me in whatever way that God has them to. I've had people just compliment on me about what I look like, but then there's others that God used to send, and I say God used to sin because it was so not normal. Not at, and people would walk up to me in restaurants and out of the blue. And I just came to tell you that God is in you. And I didn't understand that, back then in my sinning days. Oh, anyway, when I was more of an ain't than a saint. You know what I'm talking about? And so when they would say that, I used to be like, okay, okay, thank you. I had people walk up to me and say, there's a warm light that glows around you. I've received that a lot growing up. And when this stuff would happen with this man, y'all, he would get up and walk out and leave me sitting wherever we at in the restaurant. If a man walks up and tells me I'm beautiful, he gets up and walks out and leave me sitting there. And let me tell y'all something. I ain't never the one to chase nobody. I sat right there and finished my meal. I just needed to throw that out there because I needed y'all to know that I wasn't running behind him. My babe, what's wrong? I know what's wrong. You feel intimidated, but that ain't my business. That's your business. But anyway, but I'm saying like God is not going to send somebody that feels that way about you. It bothered him for people to pay me compliments because it contradicted the things that he would say. He wanted to be the only one to tell me I was beautiful. He wanted to be the only one to say these things because he needed me to depend on him for um to feel validated, to feel present. So God is saying, look, some of you ladies, some of you men, y'all done hooked up with the wrong one. And you are seeking your validation from this person. But God says, no, he needs you to plan your escape because that's not the one he has for you. I don't know who this is for. He needs you to plan your escape. He needs you to start packing it up because this is not the person he has for you. Nobody should validate who you are. God brings the validation of who you are, not man. So if you have somebody in your life, this is how you know. If they're forever the only wants to be the only one to give you recognition, if they're the only ones that want to be the ones to praise you, and it's amazing how you go through things in your life, but you don't actually look at it as a testimony. Like, I never thought of that as being a testimony, but this man absolutely used to do that. He would get upset. He would stop talking. He would walk away. We went to this craft store. There was They sold these little, like, there's, like, I hate to say it like this, but y'all, so, like, they have race cars that's like gas fueled, and it's like remote control cars for grown men. They're not for children, it's for grown men. And so these men would get together and actually race these cars. And so he went in looking at the cars or whatever, and one of the men that we had seen at one of the races, he actually worked in the store. And so he's talking to him about the car. I could care less, baby. I was looking at a dollhouse because I always wanted me a dollhouse. Mama, you gonna get me a dollhouse for Christmas? Oh, but anyway, I was looking at a dollhouse, and the man stopped. He literally held his hand up in his face like this. He said, "Stop." And so when he did that to shut him up, then he turned and looked at me and he said, "You are so beautiful." And he just began to kept going and kept going. And I was like, "Thank you." And then he kept going and kept going because I know him. And I know the more this man talked, the madder he was going to get with me. So the man, so finally he got fed up and he was like, he was ready to go. And the man was like, "Hey, come back. And, if you want to buy the car, come back and see me." He said, "But don't come back unless you bring her. We ain't never go back no more." And as we were exiting the store, I can tell his whole demeanor changed because we were supposed to leave there and walk down to another store. So I'm walking down to the store, not even realizing this man was gone to the car, because in his mind, if somebody else spoke life into me, then that diminished my need for him. That's how he took it. So there's somebody, I don't know who this word is for, but you're going through something similar. And this person is forever making you feel like without them, you are nothing. And God says, "I beg to differ, because I am your creator and I created you in my likeness." Okay. You are fearfully and wonderfully made by me. You are the masterpiece. You don't get to surrender unto a human being that says that you are not who I created you to be. So whoever this message is for, I encourage you, pack your stuff, go your separate ways. And I don't care. I'm going to be honest. I don't care if you're married to him, because I had to do that. I had to divorce my husband because the Lord had said it. That is not who he called me to be with, because people are under the misconception that, oh, God say, "What I join together, let no man put asunder." But we hold on to the "let no man put asunder," but we forget about that part where it say, "What I join together." And a lot of us are putting ourselves in relationships and pretending like God put us in them and he didn't. So God said, if I didn't join you, if you are being belittled, if you are being talked down to, or if you are made to be, that is not who I called you to be with. I don't care how many times they tell you God put us together. That's what they said. But God said, "I need you to listen to what I say." It reminds me of somebody that had a story. They did a testimony on YouTube, and she's prophetic as well. And she was talking about this man who she thought God had sent to be her husband because he would say it a lot. And but she noticed that he was truly only with her for her gift, her ability to see and hear. That is what he was attracted to. So y'all don't get it confused. You carry something beautiful. You're anointed. God needs you to truly seek him before you go hooking up with just anything and anybody. Oh, that's all I got to say, because I done been there. I done did that. I love you guys. I pray that this word reaches who is intended for. And I will be back with one more word. I love you guys. Talk to you soon.